Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Britton's Hangout Hour, episode 123, featuring a slightly stressed out me, but also Carlee from Carlee Lynn. How you doing?
And I'm also slightly stressed out Carlee. So I'm doing great.
We're in solidarity. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh, well, um, I'm doing pretty good though. Today. Stress aside of heading back to school. Freaking hate when breaks in.
Is it still like is it still cold for you because it's been cold for us the past
It's been pretty
few
nice
days?
actually. Today was
Oh,
pretty nice anyway. So
I'm jealous because I've been waiting for some warmer weather. It just feels like we
though
might not have that until June.
though during the nighttime it was pretty it can get a little nippy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what is going on? Oh, geez, I'm all over the place today. Anyway, um, glad that you're here. I'm glad we got this together. We were gonna do this on Friday, but
Yes.
that fell through. So
Yes.
it's Sunday now, but it's going well. So it worked out.
I am at the point in my life where everyone my age is getting married, having babies, all of that stuff. And which is great. Happy for everybody. There's just a lot of events that come with all that stuff. And that's kind of like what has taken up a lot of um, time during the weeks. But hey, it's fine. Just today was one of the busier ones, or today, this week was one of the busier weeks than normal. So that happens, I guess.
So
But
are you in college still? Are you out of college? Are you doing your
no,
are you adulting as
I'm
they say?
adulting. I'm full adulting at this point.
Oh man.
I graduated college in 2021.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, I've been adulting ever since then. I still remember the first like realization. Um, my boyfriend's a couple years older than me, so he already had been adulting by the time that I graduated and got a job. And I
Mm.
remember my first job, and I was like, wait a minute, is this what is this what it is? Like we go to work at 9 to 5, like, and then I get home and then I cook and then we go to bed and we do it all over again. He's like, yeah. I'm like, this sucks. This sucks so bad. And I mean, I really was in a funk for a while. I was like, what did I just do? But I think also when you get the right kind of job, it doesn't really feel like that. So
So where do you work at if you don't mind my asking?
yeah, I work for an advertising agency now. So I
Oh.
do social media marketing and
It's not a
help.
terrible gig. My friend Jason
No,
does that.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I definitely enjoy it. And it's cool to see behind the curtain as far as like advertising and paid social goes. But um, it's kind of why I got into it, honestly, when I was in college. I was like, well, I think that social is probably going to take off for
Yeah,
businesses. So might as well hop
one
on that and make that my major.
yeah, one of the things that kind of keeps me up at night sometimes I'll be like, "Oh man, what if I do all this work to get this degree and I just do some freaking regular schmo job and do like work retail or something?" I would just die.
I mean, honestly, like I have days, like usually if I might be in a job for a while and I kind of get in a funk where I'm like, I don't know, I just get the itch to try something new, you know? I do have those days, but I don't know. I feel like no matter what, as long if you get a degree, great. And if you want to do that in the degree that you got it for, great. If you don't, also great. I think going to college is just like good for the experience in general.
Yeah, I actually have a teacher for. We were talking before this. He's doing. It's basically it's a capstone class. Did you have that
Oh,
when you were in college?
yeah. I didn't,
No.
but I had people that did. Like it was just different schools did it. Like the business school did it. For some reason, the journalism one didn't. What was your
Huh.
capstone? Or what is your capstone?
Basically, we create our portfolio so we can find work. And you know how you were saying earlier that you're in that point in your life where you're surrounded by all these people who seem to have it more together than you. Because I'll tell you, I was talking with my parents about this on Friday. I'm like, I talk with my friends, and I saw some high school friends of mine the other day, and they're just kind of doing their thing, doing life, and I'm all like, oh yeah, okay. It was one of those where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm doing a lot better than I thought I was. A lot of the time, it's me thinking I'm doing a lot worse than I think I am, because I've met some people at my college, and they're like, oh yeah, I moved in with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh cool, and I'm like, oh, how old are you? And they'll go like, oh, I'm like 21. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I just turned 24. I still live with my parents. Make me feel bad.
Don't, because
but no, that's what everyone else tells me. They're like, Britton, you're too hard on yourself. It's fine.
You really are. Yeah, don't think like that. One, this generation is completely different. Okay, like, I'm sorry. When were we supposed to buy $500,000 houses at 24 years old? That's just not possible. So there's that. Like, nobody.
Now,
it's not even reasonable.
One of my friends who like lives with her boyfriend is like, they live in like an apartment. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But still, I'm just like, I'm 24. I'm still living with my parents. I mean, hey, I'm fine living with my parents, but sometimes I'm like,
I was gonna say, do it as long as you possibly can. I tell my mom every day, I said, Mom, sometimes I would do anything to come back. So I don't have to cook, clean. All of that is figured out for me. Like, sometimes I just want to go back. But I will say it is nice, like, having your own space where you can just kind of do whatever you want, decorating wise, or just like whatever you want. It's just kind of your own space. I do like that.
It has the pros and cons, is what you're saying.
It has the pros and cons, like, Mom's not here to make like a really great meal that you can count on. I'm the one that has to make a meal, and I am questionable when it comes to cooking. So
that's fair. I mean, my cooking expertise, I can make a pretty good mac and cheese and grilled cheese sandwich and some other stuff. That's about it.
Grilled cheese with mac and cheese.
Oh man,
there.
That's a winning combo right there.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. Just sometimes I'm like, shit, man.
So, have you been reading pretty much, like, when was the first time that you can remember picking up a book and reading it from the beginning to the end, like an actual chapter book?
Oh man, do you remember those Captain Underpants books? Was that during your generation?
Yeah,
I think I picked one of those up, and that was one of the first ones that I remember. That one. Because, I don't know, I liked silly... We all like silly stuff when we're kids. And I like Captain Underpants from time to time. And it was always fun, because he has these pages where you can, like, flip it, and it looks like they're moving. I always thought that was really cool.
No, those were really fun. And Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that was fun, too.
Yeah, that as well. Oh, man, I read so many of those when I was a kid. Yeah. I also read, like, illustrated classics, so, like, Oliver Twist. I read that when I was a kid, and it was, like, and it had illustrations in it. I initially read because I liked illustrations. Like, I still like illustrations. I read comic books, so, I still like that. But, like, I initially started reading because I liked pictures. I liked illustrations, and then I started reading the words. I'm like, oh, these words are pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
And that's funny.
I realized
that's a funny way of putting it. Hey, the words are cool too.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain's a little fried after spending like 2 hours working on a website. So
yeah, well, that'll happen. I was actually my dad was in the musical Oliver, but I was always there. So I remember being a part of that show. And that was fun. Like, I know a lot of those songs by heart because I was always there for that production.
So your dad's like an actor, or he just did that for fun?
I mean, yeah, it was like local theater stuff. Like, he always loved being in theater. Like, he never really thought that he would be in theater But when he was in high school, he had a drama teacher come up to him and was just like, Ed, please, like, you have a really good personality. Please, like, join the drama club. And he was like, no, I don't know. Like, well, because it was just tough getting guys to go into the drama club. And they needed guys for a lot of the lead roles. So, yeah, he joined drama club and ended up really liking it. And then he just did a lot of stuff. But then whenever he had me, he would take me along for it. And then eventually I joined him with some other musicals. That was fun. I think, all of that stuff kind of wraps into probably books, like, the musicals and plays. I love the stories of that. I love that stuff. Kind of goes into film too. I need to really get into film more. Like I'm starting to realize that I think I would really enjoy like really getting into film and like learning more about that.
Yeah, they're rabbit holes for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with like reading books. I discovered BookTube and I'm like, oh, look at this rabbit hole of all these people. Oh, yeah. And then some like I had a channel where I just this channel I have now. I initially started as I'm just gonna review whatever I want, whether it be a movie or books or whatever, or even music. I even did some music reviews. They were absolutely god awful, so I got rid of a lot of them, and I kind of spent a lot of time doing my podcasting stuff for a while. And then my friends were like, Britton, you have this channel. You should do a book channel. You like talking about this stuff. And I was starting to kind of get into the BookTube scene. And then finally I was like, you know what? Fine. If Brian Lee Durfee can do it, if he can just, with his little phone, he can do it, I can too, right? So, yeah. Now I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So, been good.
Wow, 2 years. That's a long time.
I know. It doesn't feel that long. Like, it just feels like, oh, I started this yesterday. Nope.
What do you think the biggest change in BookTube has been compared to when you kind of first started? Like, what's one of the biggest things?
Well, for one, I got some new equipment, so that probably, because like you can listen to some of my videos I did about a year ago. The mic quality isn't that great, but I've been surprised by how big some. You know what? Here's a better answer. I'm always really surprised by how interconnected the whole community is.
Yeah.
Because it's like a neighborhood where like everyone knows each other in some levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something I've noticed a lot in my 2 years I've been doing BookTube.
The power of social media is truly insane. It's very cool. It can be very scary, especially for me. I'm like constantly thinking about my digital footprint, and it pushes
I thought you meant like people tracking you down and like,
well, yes, that too. Like, I am constantly thinking
hurting
about
you
that.
or something.
Yes, I also am thinking about that constantly.
I do too.
It's scary, because people are crazy out there.
That's true. So, yeah. I actually, for the first time the other day, or this was about, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was the first time I've done this, was meet one of my online friends in person. So, because he's basically hitching around the Canada, United States area, because, why not? I don't know if I would ever do that, but he's doing it, so good for him. So he came out to visit, and I met him for a little while. And my dad came with me because he didn't want any shenanigans going down.
Oh yeah. Oh, so good on Dad. Good on Dad.
Yeah, good on Dad. Good on Dad. Generally, I put it like this: like, if I see your face, like what we're doing right now,
yeah,
like we're cool. Now, maybe I might do some weird freak shit. I don't know. That's your business. But like, you know, if I can, I know I'm not being scammed talking to you. At least,
right.
I think so anyway. You could be
Yeah.
like an AI simulation or something. Doubtful.
Can you
but
imagine?
never-
I just start glitching out.
Yeah. Good old Max
No,
Headroom.
no, it is really scary, especially with
Because
AI.
my parents are like, well, it's you don't know what weird people are on there. I'm like, I get that. I'm not,
Yeah.
So we compromised. I'm like, all right, Dad, you can come with me to come meet him, and it went well, so it worked out. But yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying though. It's a weird
Well,
world out there.
I mean, it's been happening ever since like the early. I mean, it's been happening forever, but specifically on the internet. I mean, Catfish, the TV show, that was one of my favorite shows ever. And that really that really was truly like eye-opening, I think, for me and pretty much everybody on social media. Like because then you start because I also had a lot of online friends. Like when Facebook first started, like I was all over the internet, like talking to random people. Like I don't even know how I'm talking to these people. I just happen to be in like these chat rooms with random people, you know. And it's just like you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And then these people who end up dating people online and then they go and realize they're not talking to them at all. It was I loved that show.
Yeah, no, I was a bit more careful because my parents, of course, are like, well, you don't want to you don't want to get scammed or nothing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get
Right.
that. So I'm always like hyper aware about that.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know,
good.
though, it's. So here's how, but again, here's how I do it. Like, if we're doing what we're doing right now, I'm be like, okay, this person seems legit.
Right. No, that's how I feel too. And I mean, like, also,
Now,
I
again, I
think,
don't know what you do in your spare time. That's your business,
right,
but
right.
you seem legit for the most part.
I am legit. Promise. Yeah. But I mean, it also helps too that we are like on YouTube. So we are posting videos of ourselves. And for the most part, like, I would, a lot of the people I think that we watch and are friends with on BookTube are pretty genuine people. I mean, look at us. We're on YouTube talking about books. Like that's about as genuine as it gets, you know?
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
be trying to be Mr. Beast. Like
Oh my god.
we could pull a David Dobrik and start exploding stuff in our backyard, but I like books. That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say same. Yeah, we'll say same. I like books too. I like stories in general, but books are a
Yeah.
good way. But I'm more familiar with BookTube, so that's how it works
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Um yeah, I'm trying to think as far as like my first chapter book, Junie B. Jones.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Junie B. Jones.
What
Yeah,
do you
she's
guys know
great.
about Junie B. Jones?
Oh,
Yeah,
fun times, fun times.
yeah, yeah. No, those were really good books. She was really funny.
Yeah, do you remember the ones where she goes to middle school and she gets glasses?
Yes, yes,
I remember reading
and
those and being like, "This is something's different here."
yeah,
So, yeah,
I loved those books. I felt seen because she was just funky and weird. And I
that was me
liked
with
that.
like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm as much of a dick as Greg can be at times, but I'm like, yeah, it's about how it works.
And Broderick.
And Roderick.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really liked those books too. Um, Yeah, I've honestly been slacking as far as reading goes lately. I need to get on it. I kind of go in waves. And I keep telling myself, like recently on my YouTube, and now I understand people who have done YouTube for a long time. They say, yep, I started out doing weekly videos, and then it was bi weekly, and then it was monthly, and then all of a sudden I'm like 3 months past, and it's like a video every 3 months. I can see how that happens now.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to keep consistent, and
Yeah.
it's not easy, going to college and considering, the schedule I have. There's people who are like, dude, how do you do it? I'm like, well, one, you plan it out.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
not wing it. Because
Yeah.
if you start winging it and do it when you feel like it, you're going to get bored eventually, and then you're not gonna want to do it anymore. So, you
Yeah.
give yourself a goal and you want to reach it. That's just how I work. I'm not telling everyone to do that, but
I was going to say, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm more of a wing it person because it's almost like if I know I have to do something, my brain's
no, I mean,
immediately goes to
I've liked your
procrastinate.
videos that I've seen. They're fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on some other like more vlog style videos, and I like watching people reading a book and then like reacting, like we're actually watching them read the book and see what their thoughts are like as they're literally reading it in that
So like,
moment.
if you have like a friend or like your boyfriend or something, and you give them like I don't know, what's a book you've read that I would know of.
Well, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls.
Okay, I've heard of that. That's Grady Hendrix, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, how would this work? Would you like give the book to like a person and be like, okay, and then you like film them and go like, okay, so what do you think about it so far, or something like, or do you like sit down together and be
I
like, okay, what do you think of this so far? And then they, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I guess you could do it that way. I mainly just set up a tripod and literally I sit there and I read and it's recording the whole time, and then I just
Oh,
go back and edit it whenever I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I have to stop so then I can talk to the camera and be like, all right, we need to talk about this. And
yeah,
I mean me and nobody else in the room.
fair enough, fair enough. I mean, you started your channel relatively recently, right?
Yeah. I mean, in it, because of people like you and everyone else on BookTube, I mean, I've been watching, I feel like, for the past year and a half, you know, just sitting there being like, do I do it? I don't know. Like, what could I possibly add to this that isn't already done?
If you want to cure
But
all of that, here's what you do: you look up Brian Lee Durfee and you watch his channel. I mean, you really watch his reviews and just see what he says, and then you and think about it for a minute. Don't just like this is not a casual thing. All right, don't. You got to watch it. You got to study it a little bit, and then you're done. And then you think about it, and you go like, this is a freaking guy who's just going off the cuff on his phone, which sometimes drops, by the way. He drops the phone from time to time, but he's doing it on his phone. And he's doing it, and he's got like 100 something subscribers. He's got like a bunch of subscribers.
I
No
mean,
excuse
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. No, I know. I mean, there's a lot of people, like, you
That's
really
what sold
don't
it for
need.
me. Maybe it was different for you. I don't know, but
Well, no, because I think that that says that it's authentic. You
yeah.
know, it's like, it's not so
It told me that there
overproduced.
was a place for me. I could do it because I don't think I'm that great at like public speaking. I've gotten better at it over the years, but I'm not like great at. I get awkward sitting in front of a camera and going like, "Oh, well, what do you do?"
Yeah.
So
No, I was like that. I mean, I'm like that right now because I know that there is a camera on me and I feel like I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like that's just everybody when you know that you're being watched and it's not like talking to somebody one on one.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I don't know, one of those weird things we do as humans, I suppose. Just wanting to be perceived in a way that's liked.
Yeah, it's human nature, is what I would chalk that down to. Um, yeah, no, it's how would I describe it? Yeah, I mean, I've gotten better at it over the years, and then also comments always help. There's people who are like, "Oh, this was an interesting video, Britton." I'm like, "Oh, so there's people who actually want to hear what I have to say." All right, I think I can do this. My parents are always like, "Well, why don't you like try to like promote yourself more and all that?" I mean, I promote myself and all that, but they're like, like, would you like to do this as like a career? And I'm like, and and I'm like, I mean, it would be fun, but like once I like, I kind of think of it like this, like if I do this as like a career, I'm afraid the fun might be taken out of it.
Yeah.
But
No, I totally get that, because I thought about that, whenever I was looking for jobs. I didn't know if I wanted to look for the same kind of position that I was looking for now, or if I wanted to look for something that was like maybe try to work for a publishing agency, like for books, and like kind of just dive into that industry that I really like. But then, one, I'm making something that I really like that's a hobby into a job. And
Well,
then
yeah.
does that mean I'm going to hate it after a while? The answer I think is not necessarily.
Though there is also the saying that like if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will do well for me. I mean, it would. I mean, trust me, I would like to get. Should I bring him up due to recent events? Screw it. It'd be fun, getting those Daniel Green numbers, I guess. But like, at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
I mean,
I guess I'll figure it. I try to figure it out when I get there. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have a good personality to interview people or talk about, like current event stuff and then books and whatever. I mean, like, what do you think? Like, do you still find yourself wanting to talk about books? Do you like interviewing people? Do you like if you were to like pick one avenue and put a Britton twist on it, what would that be?
Well, I mean, I put it on my Twitter, but I'm just kind of like interested in people and ideas. So that's kind of how I run things, which has worked out well for me because I've been at a school for journalism for, oh God, how long has it been now? 5 years. Because I've been taking it slow, which has helped sharpen those skills. Though this isn't really an interview show. A lot of people like think it's an interview show. Like it kind of is, and it isn't. It's more like let's hang out and have a chat for a minute.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of podcasts are, honestly. A lot of the podcasts that I watch now,
and it's really frustrating because he like wants us to like have a what's the word I'm looking for? Like he wants it to be more structured than I'm generally used to. And that frustrates me to no end because he wants us to do it in like 10 minutes. I'm like, how the freak do you do that in 10 minutes,
Yeah.
And I actually gave him one of my episodes and I'm like, it's just one of the shorter ones. It's like an hour. And he's like, an hour? And I'm like, bro, that's short for me. Like, get out of here. So...
I actually took a podcast class.
He did just recently have a kid, so I'll cut him some slack. But if he didn't have a kid, I probably would have given him some more shit.
I took a podcast class in college, and I really enjoyed it. I mean,
no, I'm enjoying it. It's just kind of it's just like when you do it already, and like he's like, okay, here's some like requirements. Then I get frustrated because I'm all like, but I do it this way,
right? No, I think you could have a really cool podcast if that's what you think you would want to do, and kind of just turn the channel into a podcast. And then you can talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing my other content as well, though I have discussion videos as well, because sometimes I'm like, sometimes it's laziness, sometimes it's, I don't really know what I want to say about this book, and this other person has also read this book, so let's talk about it,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Well, yeah, you can have solo videos. A lot of podcasters do that, where they're just like, hey, it's just me today, just hanging out, got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there's these guys I watch called Life on Books who kind of do that on their channel.
Turn the room into a studio? That'd be awesome.
I mean, that would be cool, but yeah, I'm it was funny. I had Bookborn on about a year ago now. And we were talking about, and we were, it went on for a while. And I put it up, and someone commented, and I'm like, I kind of like the humble setup you got back here. And then you see Bookborn's kind of more professional looking one, which I'm like, and I read that, I'm like, I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or if he's just like punking on me, but I don't know. But it was a funny comment.
I know mine's kind of humble right now too because my room that actually has all of like my bookshelves, which I've been trying. I need to do this eventually. I need to figure out how to set up a camera in there with lighting because there's just no lighting in the room that has all my bookshelves in it. So it's just not a really good place to film, which is unfortunate. My house doesn't have a whole lot of light, like window lighting. Like the windows are really tall, so the light doesn't really come in. And I mean, I just need some better lighting gear, period.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, I need a lot of stuff. I need like better lighting and better lot of stuff. I mean, I wish I could have like a one of those like a Jemmy setup, you know, Jemmy from the Fantasy Network. I wish I could have that kind of setup, but
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, I'm kind of like, I don't want to chuck all that. Like, I want to be in a more financially stable situation, and then maybe I can chuck some money at it. You know?
Well, that's the thing too. It's like
I'm at that
for
broke
me,
college.
I let
I mean,
a lot
I'm
of
not
that.
really broke, but I'm at like that kind of broke college student phase of my life
Yeah,
where I
yeah,
mean, I still chuck money at a bunch of stuff, but like,
yeah. No, I mean, like that honestly kept me from making videos. Was like, I need to have the best gear. I need to have this first. I need to have this. I need to make a room. Like, I need to do all of these things, but and then I'll start recording. And it's just like, no, you don't, because just start recording and just start making videos. You can do that later. You don't have to have everything perfect. And I tend to compare myself to all those people that have really awesome,
oh, I'm
like
the same way.
aesthetically pleasing
I made
places.
a whole
You
video
know?
about that subject, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really? Talking about like just the pressures
well,
of being aesthetic.
well, it was more like the pressure of doing booktube, which isn't like
Well,
that bad compared to like
yeah.
college. Like this college semester has just been having its way with me, if you will. It's just been smacking me around, you know. It's a miracle I've been managing to keep up with all my content. I'm very glad,
Yeah.
but
Well, so when do you graduate?
next year probably. So at least I'm hoping so. Because
Yeah.
it probably was going to be this year, but I'm like, I want to get a minor. So I got a minor in
There you
creative
go.
writing, and
Ooh.
I'm enjoying that. Though, some more complaining about kind of like the podcasting class, because, you know, I like to write. I've written stuff. In those classes, you know, he'll be like, oh, we're going to like write for 10 minutes about, you know, whatever. I cannot do that. I can't do it. I can't. Well, okay, I can do it, but it's not very good. It's just, it's not supposed to be like good or anything, but like I'm not that animal. Like I like to think things through before I sit down and write it down.
And start. So you are the planner and not the like you're the
The
why am
the
I
plotter,
blanking?
yeah.
Yeah, the plotter versus the Stephen King style where it's just like you hit the
Oh, I
ground running.
can't do it like Stephen King. He just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I respect Stephen King for, you know, he can do that. I can't do that. Like,
I'm like somewhere in the middle. Like I like to, yes, I have a plan of where I'm going, but I feel like I would just spend way too much time plotting than actually writing. So I try to just write.
I found a nice compromise where I can. So basically, how I write is I think of the beginning of the story. I have a clear picture what the beginning is of the story, and I have a clear picture what the ending is of the story. And everything else that's in between, I can just kind of wing it, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully no one will notice. And so far, not really. Most people are like, this is pretty good. It could be better, but it's pretty good. So
I miss having people look at stuff and getting feedback. I mean, are you
because I have that massive like, oh man, I'm wondering when they're gonna figure out that I'm just winging it the whole time.
Well, I mean, if it works, it works. What kind of stuff do you like to write?
I wrote a dark fantasy novel, which I'm still prattling away at. So I worked on that. I'm editing through it right now. So, and
Oh,
now
wow.
that I'm starting to use Wix more, I think maybe I can, if I manage to self-publish, because self-publishing is becoming a thing. Maybe I could set up a website, my author website on Wix or something.
So it's done. It's just a matter of editing and maybe a little bit more revising, and then
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Well, that's
Yeah.
more than I have. I mean,
It takes a
I
lot.
yeah, it does.
It takes a lot out of you.
I mean,
And ever since then, like I started on a western, and then I'm like, nope. And then I started on the second book for this, dark fantasy thing. And then college got in the way, as it does. And I'm like,
yeah.
all right, I'm gonna wait till the semester's over, and I'm gonna get back to it. So
You're doing way more than I did when I was in college. I mean, I barely read books when I was in college because I just completely kind of like stopped doing it after high school whenever people were forcing us to and teachers were forcing us to. I mean, I was just in my classes focusing on that, let alone writing a book during college.
well,
That's crazy.
I had more free time during that during those semesters.
I was gonna say. I
Right
mean,
now, it's not a great bet, but when I wrote it, I had a bit more wiggle room where I had more time to kind of think it through.
well, that's exciting. I can't wait to read it whenever your book gets published.
Yeah, I was thinking last year I could put it out. That didn't happen. Then this year, that's probably not going to happen either.
Have you had any like people from BookTube read it yet?
I have had friends of mine from BookTube read parts because I don't want people reading the whole thing yet until I have like the Mittens from Talking Story have a they were kind of like, yeah, we didn't want to talk about our book until we were actually going to do something with it. That's where I'm at right now. They'll all talk about it. I'll be like, oh, hey, I wrote it. I'm working on it. But I won't. I'm trying to be very careful with saying, oh, I'm hoping to do it by this point,
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Because, I don't want to be like a Rothfuss or like George R. R. Martin and be like, okay, it's coming out now. And everyone's like, oh, man. And then I go, oh, wait, we're going to have to wait a minute. And it's like, oh, really? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I know. That's kind of how I
don't
feel
want to disappoint people, is my point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, I think people are still going to be like, totally get it. Like, take your time because it's scary.
And there's even some people who are like, hey, Britton, how's it going? And I'm like, it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what the most awkward part about talking about writing is? When people who don't really know about what it's like to write ask you about it. Like, oh, so what do you write about?
Well,
I don't like that question.
I'm talking to myself through different characters.
Pretty much, yeah. I'll put it...
at the end of the day, you literally are creating people to talk to yourself with.
Yeah, it's basically like, imagine sitting in a room and making stuff up and trying to make sense of it all. That's what writing's like. Because there's people who've asked me, like, what's writing like? And I'm just like, like, even my parents. Because, like, I was the weird kid of the group. My parents are not particularly big readers. I'm the one who, reads a lot. So, yeah. So they'll be like, oh, so, like, how's it going? Or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, like, how do I describe it? Also, I think I have a habit of overthinking things, so that doesn't help either.
Well, my dad kind of knows because he writes songs, but that's a lot different. Like, that's a that's way different than writing a novel because it's poetry and you have to be very selective with words. At least with a novel, you can go on a little bit of a rant and, keep going for 1,000 pages.
Now, if it's like someone who like knows, like the guy who like edited my book for me, um, okay, yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. Which is why I was hesitant to let my dad look over it, because I'm like, oh man, there's so much stuff I'm doing here. I don't know if he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
But it's worked out so far. I mean, the last time we edited it, like, we were just kind of looking through it, and my dad asked pretty good questions, and so yeah, it's fun.
That's good though. I mean, I get though, like, not sure if people who usually don't read, or maybe they just don't really read that kind of genre. You have someone look at something you've written, they don't get it. You're scared they're not going to get it. That's how I feel with a lot of writers' critique groups that I've gone to.
Mm-hmm.
I just am like, it's very hard because one, you have to pick an excerpt, and then reading an excerpt from a novel sometimes and then you have people like picking that apart, and it's just like, well, you have to kind of read the whole first 500 pages to really understand what's going on here. So yeah, you're probably going to.
You can get some great feedback from that, though.
Yeah, no, you definitely can. I think I need to switch up some of the groups that I've been going to.
That's fair.
And I mean, the one that I go to is just like local, in person. I'm hoping to try and get involved with some other booktubers that are also writers. Some of these Discord channels I'm in. I'm trying to get one started.
Yeah, I have a little Discord channel. No one really posts on there except for sharing stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't really think that through. But I'm like, I don't really want to. I don't really want to like get rid of it though, because there's all these people here now. Like,
how many people are in it?
Oh, let me check.
I'm not a Discord guru by any means.
Oh, I'm not either. So, I just started it because I'm like, oh, that would be fun to like keep up with the community and all that.
Right.
Well, it doesn't say on my phone. My guess would be like 15 or 20 other people are on there. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good amount of people.
Yeah.
But I sometimes I'm like, I probably should have waited to do it before, had more subscribers who would interact more. Because I have friends who have like Discords and they have like mods and stuff, and they have like a whole system.
Right.
I'm even a Discord mod on the Talking Story Discord, so I know the struggle.
Right. But, I mean, I think if you just keep like saying, "Hey, don't forget about the Discord," then you can have more people join it, and then maybe the opportunity for a mod will arise.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying like I want like a mod or anything. Again, that just I'm a guy like I like things to be as simple as possible,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what being a mod even really means, to be honest. Like, you basically do all of the tech.
That's part of it, but it's also like if someone, if there's like bots or like, racist or troll people who are in the chat, causing trouble, you can kick them out, or, you can set up groups, like reading groups, or at least that's the Talking Story one that I'm a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I just never really knew. Like, I kind of understood what they were, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe I don't really get it. But
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad though. I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to find your channel again so I can be like, oh, so what book is this? I don't know. Let me go find.
Well, I actually did just finish a book yesterday.
What books have you finished, or what books have you been reading recently? Because
Well, I'm
this is
still
ostensibly a book related channel.
right. I finished The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison.
I don't think I've ever
Um,
heard of this.
yeah, I didn't know. I didn't hear of it either. My book club that I'm in with my friend and her sister, she recommended it because she already read it, which goes against the rules of the book club. We're supposed to read a book that nobody in the club has read, but she was very insistent that we read it because she wanted to read it again. So, um, basically, it's a very disturbing book about a serial killer who kidnaps a bunch of girls and has this like society in a greenhouse, and he calls them his butterflies. And it is very disturbing, but like the way that it's told was so good. I just had to finish it. It's one of those books where once you start listening, you get sucked in and you kind of have to know. It's just like so interesting but and disturbing, but like can't look away kind of thing.
So you've been so you do the occasional audiobook, or do you do
Yeah,
audiobooks more frequently?
I've been doing them more frequently just because I have a lot that I've been trying to juggle. So, like, I have the book club book that I need to read, and then I have the one book that I'm trying to read that I've just been like, the one book from my TBR, like official TBR that I'm reading, um, and then I have some other books that I want to read, but I mainly want to read them because I want to make a video about them, which is like I'm trying to read Jane Eyre, and that's what I'm listening to because it's 22 hours long,
Damn.
and I want to listen to it because honestly, it really intimidated me, like the language and the way it was written. I'm like, I'm scared to like physically read this, so maybe if I just start listening to it and get into it, it'll be easier. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
my occasional audiobook, but I do prefer reading, honestly.
yeah, you like the old eyeball reading. My friend
Yeah.
Natalia from Goodreads says that from time to time.
Yeah, the eyeball reading. I like that. I mean,
I do too. That's why I said
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I definitely prefer a good old paper back book, that I can sit and hold.
One you can smell. I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you.
I like floppy books. I like the flop. Okay. It's fun whenever you can like set it down and it
Mm.
just lays there and you can turn them. I hate books that I have to like, like to like hold them down. Like you get tired of holding it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
which they actually make. I went to a local bookstore and someone makes thumb rings that hold pages down when you're holding a book. So like you don't get a cramp in your hand when you're like holding it with your hand. It
Interesting.
basically like spreads the book apart so you can just like hold it and not, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying.
But so I bought one.
I started the Gorman Gas trilogy, starting with Titus Grown. Now, my parents, God bless them, got me the omnibus version. So it looks like this. This
Oh my.
this chunky boy. This is 3 books, by the way. This isn't one big
Okay.
book. Before you. So the book I'm reading right now is. Let me find it again, because I was just looking at it. That. So I'm reading that right now. Hoping to have it all of this read before the end of the year, but we'll see how that goes.
3
Yeah.
books in one.
What?
3 books in one. That's always fun.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs. I'm it's kind of like I would have just liked the 3 separate books, but
Oh well. You can
I
always buy them later on.
yeah,
For the
I'll take the punches.
something to look forward to.
I'm
I still
also hoping to start.
physically.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I need to physically read The Lord of the Rings, and I know that that's 3 separate books. So
It was supposed to be one big book, but they are like, yeah, we can't publish that. That's too much paper. So he turned it into 3.
which is crazy. It's really not that long.
Let's start with The Hobbit first. If you
Yeah,
not because like oh, it's a simple read. It's just it's an easy way to get in. It's not a
I did listen to that one this year, and I really enjoyed it.
yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah. I was just like, I better read some of the classics before they all start saying, "Oh my gosh, you
No,
haven't read
stop it,
The
Siri. I'm not
Hobbit?"
talking to you.
Yeah, yeah,
You have a
exactly.
do you have a watch and sometimes you'll be like talking, they'll be like, here, let me look it up. And I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, yes, yes. She does that all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, my
So,
mom is kind of like on the, oh, they're watching us thing. And I'm just like, I'm not going to go there.
yeah, that could be a whole video.
What are they wanting? What would they want with you? Like, that's the thing, I don't get it. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Well, they are listening, but
They probably are, but you know, what would we have that would interest them? Is my point.
that's the thing. It's like if someone was listening to me, I promise you that my FBI agent is probably so bored out of their mind because I'm listening to a book or I'm reading a book the whole time, so there's quite literally nothing happening. And then whenever I do say something, it's just like, I need a snack.
Yeah, yeah, I'm probably on a list somewhere because I was a few years ago. I was kind of in the like hardcore libertarian phase of my life, and yeah. Anyway, back to books. I'm also hoping to start Discovery. Might do that either tonight or tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Um, uh, but yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I did buy Discovery, so I'm really excited.
Yes, the Minton's book. They were very kind to give it to me early. It was an ebook, which I'm generally not used to. So I get discombobulated when I read stuff off my phone.
Yeah, I'm
Which is
not an
which I don't know
ebook.
why. Like a few years ago, I could do it fine. Like I read a friend of mine. His name's Sean. I read his book called Camelot Shadow on my phone, and it was fine. And I had I had a good time reading it.
Yeah,
And like now, I'm just like,
yeah, yeah. I'm just like I'm on my phone all the time, and I need a reading a book, a physical book, is me getting off of my phone. So I find
yeah,
it
that's a good way to put it. I don't know if it's like that for me, but that might be that might be why. That could be a
yeah,
why for me. I don't know. It
because
could
you're
be why.
always on your phone. And I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm doing on my phone is reading. So it's like I don't know. It just I don't like looking at a screen. I look at a screen for work. I look at a screen when I'm not working on my phone. I don't want to look at a screen when I'm reading for
Now,
fun.
for Discovery, I'm going to try and circumvent this by reading it on my computer monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, there
Well,
you go.
hopefully that will go better for me, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. Everyone says it's really good. So
Yeah, my friend who like very rarely gives books 5 stars was like, "Yo, this is a 5-star book, man." Even more rarely than I do. Like I don't like I'm not I'm very like I'm very specific with my 5 stars. Like it's a
yeah,
life-changing book. Or like this book affected me in a profound way. You're getting a 5 star. Like, I don't just chuck them out like, it's going out of style.
yeah.
But
I mean,
he's even more stingy than I am in that regard. Is my point I'm
yeah.
making.
Wow. I mean, I honestly expected it to be really good, just considering how many books that John reads every week.
That
And
dude, I think I read fast. That man is a machine. Just
right.
it's ridiculous.
And the missus, she's awesome. Like
Oh yeah,
I
she's great.
I aspire to be like that woman someday. And Jacob is so cool too. So I just all 3 of them making a book is probably the best thing ever.
I got her to read Black Leopard, Red Wolf earlier this year, and she really enjoyed it. So I felt really proud of myself for that, because apparently, like, she DNFs a lot.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like for like really, you know, for really like one night we were, you know, in a group chat, and she was like, the letters are too small. I don't want to read this right now. And she put the book down. She quit the book because because the letter font was too small. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
How often do you DNF?
Very rarely. I try not to, unless, and even then I try, like, it's more like what they call a soft DNF. Like, there was
Yeah.
recently, I was reading a book called The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and
Yeah.
I just realized I was forcing myself to read it. It's a fine book. I was liking it when I was reading it, but I realized I was just forcing myself to read it. So I'm like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put you down, and I'll get back to you at a later point. Like, we're just
Yeah.
not, we're not melding right now.
Yeah. I need to be better about that, because I do think that I force myself to read a lot of books that I'm not like getting sucked into, and it ends up making me into one of those weird funks where I'm not enjoying reading and then I'm not motivated.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like some of the books that I take a while to get into end up being like really great. It just takes
Yeah,
so long.
that's the rub, isn't it? Yeah, you're like, oh, maybe this will get good, you know, like maybe
Yeah.
this will.
And
That's the
that's
thing.
why I don't DNF, because I'm just like, well, I just need to keep going, keep going, keep going. And it ends up taking me forever.
So I generally only DNF or soft DNF, whatever you want to call it, if I'm just not connecting with the book, or if I just feel like I'm forcing myself to read it, I'll just put it down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of sucked because I was liking Underground Railroad. It was a good book. I was liking it. It was like
Yeah.
well written, for that matter.
Is that a movie?
It was a show, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know what the Underground Railroad is, but it just, I have a memory of it being a movie or a show or something. I
I
don't
think
know.
it was a show.
Maybe.
But yeah, no. I do know you were telling me a few days ago you were reading Lonesome Dove. Have you, you know, have you read any of it? Like any? I know you said you were kind of, you know, you were kind of, I don't want to say stuck, but you said you wanted to read some more of it before our chat.
I know. And I mean, I kind of did, but not even close to what, like, maybe like a couple pages.
So
Like,
where
this,
are you at right now in the book?
they're just now talking about like possibly doing a cattle run.
Okay. All right, because I don't want to like go like, oh, this guy, you know, blah blah blah, and then you go like, I haven't gotten to that part yet, and then
Yeah. They are just not talking about a cattle ride. The dude, Jake, I think his name, came riding in.
okay, yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, truly the beginning. It's like very beginning. And I'm trying to, like, I think that's kind of why it's taking me so long, is I'm like, okay, I know that something where this is going to happen. I really love how the dialogue has been going, but, you know.
That's what I really enjoyed. I'm like, they're not even doing anything, and this is fun. You know, like
Yeah.
that sign bit was hilarious. Like I'm just like, this is great. This is getting
No,
a 5-star
it,
from that sign scene alone.
it is really funny. It's
I
really,
know, it is, isn't it? It's so good.
he's so good at, I don't know, like, I'm like, I read something, I'm like, how did he come up with that?
I don't know. Also, Gus is great,
Yeah.
and don't worry, he stays great throughout the whole book. So
Okay.
don't worry about him starting to suck later on.
Yeah, I know that tends to happen, doesn't it?
Sometimes you'll be like, man, I'm really liking this character, and then he just kind of like does something stupid, and you're like, no, I was liking you.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I'll hopefully maybe like after this, maybe I'll start reading some more of Lonesome Dove so I can get that done, because it's just huge and I have so many other books to read. But
that's the life, isn't it? You know, there's always more.
I know. I really want to read the new Hunger Games book too. I don't know if you have Hunger Games, but
it's funny. My friend Alicia's reading the Hunger Games for the first time. So
It's good. I mean, I think that series is really good.
I like it.
So I'm excited to read that new book. I just got to
Like, it's
go.
not one I think is as bad as some people say. Like, Catching Fire I didn't really like, but, like, they're fine. I don't love them as much as, like, Harry Potter, but, you know, like,
Yeah,
they're fine.
yeah. No, I like. They're extremely entertaining, and
Sure, yeah. They're
the
well done for
dystopian.
what they are.
Yeah, it definitely took the world by storm. That's for sure.
For whatever reason, yes.
Yeah. Well, probably Josh Hutcherson. I used to have the biggest crush on that guy. The guy who plays PETA.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember him from Bridge of Terabithia because like he was a kid in that movie.
That movie tore me apart.
Yeah, right. Like
That
I
was
remember,
traumatizing.
I remember watching that. I'm just like, oh my, this is getting creepy. Like, what's that creature in the woods like following him around? It's creepy.
Yeah,
Freaky
that
out.
that movie was traumatizing.
Yeah, it's like man, this was real. This really got sad all of a
I
sudden.
know. I was like, I thought we were just having fun in the woods and like playing pretend. And that was just. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, I don't know who wouldn't know what happened with Bridge of Terabithia, but they exist, I imagine.
Yeah. So beware if you have not watched it.
You know, oh, yeah. My mom woke me up earlier this morning, so yeah.
Mm.
Mom, if you watch this, thanks.
Yeah, she's like, time to get up.
No, like she was just talking to someone on the phone, and I was just like, I woke up, and I'm just like, why? But you know, anyway, I do have a Grady Hendrix book over there. It's the Southern. God, what's that book called? Wait. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I've heard is
Yeah.
actually pretty good. Though I'm a little wary of the tongue-in-cheek title, but I hear apparently it's actually pretty good. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is very much so like, well, the book that I've only read by him is the one that I just read, which was Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. But I think aside from that book, most of his books are very much tongue in cheek kind of horror. Like it's a little bit having fun with it,
Yeah.
I think. So
Ah, man.
try it and let me know. You should read it and then let me know if you like it, and then maybe I'll also
Seems
read
like
it.
a good summer read.
Yeah. Yeah. I love a good vampire book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. Have you read City of Thieves yet? Because I remember watching one of your videos and you said you were hoping to read that at some point. So
I
soon.
don't
Have you read it, or have you not gotten to it
know.
yet?
I haven't gotten to it yet. I know. I picked up Lonesome Dove because I was like, all right, I haven't read a big book in a while, but I knew it's going to take me a while.
Haven't read one of those thick boys in a while.
Yeah.
Those
But
3C thick boy books.
yeah, it's huge. So I need to read it along with everything else that I have on my TBR. But yeah, it's there. Hopefully this year. We'll see.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I've enjoyed talking with you, but I know you said you kind of wanted to go for like an hour. We are an hour and 3 minutes into this, so like, do you need to go or anything, or?
I mean, do you have anything else?
I guess I'll ask you one more question before we go,
Yeah,
because again, I don't want to like hold you hostage here.
no.
Um, um, I guess the inevitable final question is, what are you hoping to do next on your BookTube channel?
I'm hoping that I can get a book vlog posted. Like I've been telling everyone, I've been reading Jane Eyre. I've recorded some video of me reading it and reacting and kind of talking about that. But I'm hoping that I can get like a really good video together that isn't just me, sitting here talking at them at my desk. I want to bring hopefully my subscribers just like a little bit more into the life of like the average life of what I'm doing, and then reading, and I don't know. So hopefully a vlog, basically.
Okay. All right. Fair enough then.
Nothing extremely exciting, but hopefully that comes soon. So
All right. Yeah. That's fun.
yeah.
But I think that's it for now. I've enjoyed this conversation though. Thank you for getting this together. Or well, I'm glad we managed to get this together. Is what I should
Yeah,
say, because I'm the one who
me too.
organizes it.
Right, right. So thank you for having me and
Yes.
asking me to be a part of this, because this is so fun.
Well, thank you
No,
for coming on. That's all I'll say. There you go. That's the right one.
no one's ever asked me to come on their podcast before, so this would be my first.
Awesome. Well, if you, as I like to do before the end of these things, if you have any social media, you can feel free to share and all that.
Um, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that would be Carlee Writes Books, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then follow me on YouTube, which is just Carlee Lynn with 3 N's. I've been thinking about changing my username to something else, but until then, that's what it's going to be.
Okay. Well, again, this has been fun. And I'm glad we managed to get this together again because, you know, I was kind of
Same.
stressing there for a minute. I was like, oh god. But no, it's
Don't
all good.
stress.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this. I have, and Carlee, I hope you have as well.
I had a blast.
All right. Well, until next time. Woo-hoo.
Thank you.